let's talk about my Pittsburgh Steelers. So, this team is such an enigma. I don't know what to do with them based on the Sunday. I picked the Bears to win this game. I did. I think at 26-20, I think was my final score. And I literally said before the game, and I certainly maintained based on what the offense looks like, I said, whether Aaron plays or not, to me, doesn't make a difference. Now, I will say, had Aaron been in, he would have recognized, unlike Mason, that the Steelers were in illegal formation on their second to last drive in the fourth quarter when Mason took off for 15, 20 yards and a first down. Excuse me. So that could have been an advantage. But then again, Aaron isn't scampering for 15, 20 yards. So that Mason Rudolph was fine. Had the ugly pick early. From there, the game plan was very safe, very much. I think it's Mason threw like one pass over the middle, which was really weird. But watching that yesterday, man, and I did a reaction video. I was actually inside of Tron at Magic Kingdom when I was doing this, watching the end of that game. I couldn't help but think, watching the Chicago Bears offense have it rolling, we can show, do we have Caleb Williams numbers? Go and show Caleb Williams stats. 3 touchdowns, had the one ugly turnover. TJ Watt, who shout out to him, passed his brother JJ Watt in sacks with JJ Watt on the call, which was a really, really cool moment. 54% completion for Caleb. So again, accuracy still got to get better. 239 passing, 104 rating, 68 QBR. So Caleb was really good. But just watching that yesterday, the Bears for years were the NFC's less functional version of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, the Steelers have had better coaching, obviously. The Steelers have had better ownership. But by and large, they were kind of cut from the same cloth. They kind of had a very similar identity. Is that when you think Chicago Bears, you think 85D. You think Sweetness, you think Walter Payton, but you think 85 Bears. And more recently, you think Brian Urlacher. Heck, you probably think if you think the last decade, you think Khalil Mack and that trade with the Raiders, years back. You think defense. You think hit them in the mouth. And that's thinking Pittsburgh to a greater degree because they've won 6 Super Bowls, the Bears won. But Steel Curtin and recently with James Harrison and Troy Polamalu and all these guys, these great Steelers defenses. Not to take a single thing away from them because they are some of the best defenses in the history of the NFL. And defenses matters, Dad. Just talked about the Rams. They're the Super Bowl favorite in the NFC, and they have the number 1 scoring defense. Like, of course defense matters. It cannot be your identity. And after years, maybe it took the Bears just losing some more and having incompetent quarterback play and bad coaches. Maybe it just took getting beat in the head enough to be like, hey, maybe we should try and adapt to the modern NFL. Right? Like, we end up getting Caleb Williams because of a trade we made the year before with Carolina, which obviously we know now they fleeced the Panthers. Get Caleb Williams first overall. Has some moments, but rough rookie season. So you know what we need for Caleb Williams? A smart, innovative, ahead of the times, creative, runs the football, good blocking schemes, can get the absolute most out of our franchise quarterback. And is a guy who in today's modern NFL fits perfectly. Hard-nosed, but creative and young and innovative, but also hard-nosed. He'll run the football. Invest in the offensive line in the offseason. And look at the Chicago Bears. 8-3, leading the division. I hate to keep patting myself on the back. No, I don't. Listen, I'll eat it any time on the show when I'm wrong, but I'm right. I will not let you forget it. That's how I roll. Is that I said back in August, and over the course of the first half of the season, it's not going to be pretty early. Caleb's never worked with a coach like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson never worked with a quarterback like Caleb Williams. Wasn't looking so good at camp. But I said late October, around Halloween, early November, they would start to figure each other out. And what do you know? Leading the NFC North, a loaded NFC North. Vikings aren't good, mostly because of J.J. McCarthy, but the Lions, they're in the mix. Packers, they're in the mix. And the Bears leading the division. The Chicago Bears have won 8 of their last 9 games. Why? Because they adjusted to the modern offensive game. They invested in a generationally talented quarterback. They brought in a young, brilliant, smart, young, hard-nosed head coach in Ben Johnson, and they invested in the offensive line. And the defense matters. It does. The Bears' defense hasn't been that good, mostly due to injuries this year. They said defense matters. We got to add more than what we have right now to the opposite side of the ball. Meanwhile, you look at Pittsburgh, and you look at a Mike Tomlin. The Steelers gave up 31, so we can update the graphic. Here you go. Mike Tomlin, when the Steelers allow 30 or more points, 7-45. Since Big Ben retired, 1-12. And since that 2017 playoff loss to Jacksonville, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 1-22 in games in which they give up 30 points. As I always remind you, that win came this year, week 1, against the good-for-nothing New York Jets. Gave up 30 to Justin Fields in that game. Made him look like Lamar Jackson. And the defense hits you in the mouth culture. Yeah, let's see how that's worked. Highest paid defense in football the last 5 years. Let's see how that's worked because it's been awful. 21, Steelers ranked 24th. 22, they ranked 13th, so not bad. 2023, they were 21st. Last year, 12th, not bad. This year, 27th. 27th. You got TJ Watt giving your team free points on the strip sack fumble recovery in the end zone. You've invested in the defense. You've invested in that defense. You've paid TJ Watt, and you've paid Cam Hayward, and you drafted an interior defensive lineman when you kind of needed help at wide receiver last year in the draft. And you did all of these things. You've invested at corner. You brought in Jalen Ramsey. You brought in veterans like Darius Slay. And Kyle Duggar's been a good pickup. I will give credit where it's due. I like the Kyle Duggar pickup. And the defense is still below middle of the pack at best, on its best day. And you're out here, cross your fingers. Is Mason Rudolph going to make a game-winning drive happen? Oh, is Aaron Rodgers? Can he stay healthy enough for us to win? That was the world Chicago Bears used to live in. To a worse degree, more dysfunctional, but that was kind of what the Bears were living through. And now, by the way, after starting 4-1, the Ravens have caught you. They are tied, and right now they have the tiebreaker for the AFC North title. That's where you're at. I can't even get that mad. I can't. I know the O-line's not very good. I know the play calling depends on the Sunday. Very conservative. I didn't love it. Mason Rudolph, he's a good backup. Mason's a good backup. That's about it. And Aaron's a very limited quarterback at this stage in his career. But Mike Tomlin said, I'm going to do it my way. I think we can win games the highest level with him. Oh, okay. I've gotten on Aaron for his bad performances this season, but the course of the Steelers, the issues with the Steelers this year do not stem with Aaron Rodgers. They do not stem with Mason Rudolph. They do not, in large part, stem that much from Arthur Smith. It stems from the head coach. And we are, what is this? Is this year 19 for Tomlin? I know the non-losing season. I know people just eat that up like it's pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. And I love me some pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. It's the most meaningless stat in the history of sports. Move on, guys. He's not the guy. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.